So the other day, I worked on the Annabelle doll mystery. If you haven't seen it, that was interesting. Check that out. I also worked on Ed and Lorraine Warren, looking at them to see if they were scammers or if they were real. Check that out. So today, people asked me if I would finish up my little Conjuring universe series with looking at the Conjuring house. For those of you who saw the movie, The Conjuring, I think it was #1. There was this big house, and this is a real place. It was a big like farmhouse. It was called the Old Arnold Estate. I don't know if they still call it that today or not, but you can go online and look at pictures of the house. And a lot of paranormal investigators have gone there and done all kinds of research and gotten mixed results basically. But the people who live there claim that the house is extremely haunted. So today we're going to take a look at the cards and see if the Old Arnold Estate is haunted or if Hollywood is pulling our leg. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it to anyone and everyone who might like it too. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. Let me know, did you think this house is haunted or do you think it's a total hoax? If you want to get a reading done, please email me or hit me up on social media. Underneath this video is all of my information. I will also leave for you a list of all of the decks that I'm going to use to do this reading. Okay, just in case you want them. I hate when somebody has a really cool deck and I don't know what it is, and then you inbox them and you ask them what it is, they don't get back to you and you're like, oh my goodness, I really want this deck. So I'm going to leave that list underneath here so you will not have to live with the agony that I have lived through. And that's it. Let's get started. So out the gate, I'm showing you right now, this card and this card are reversed, and this one is too. So I'm going to turn them around, but I'm going to read them in the reverse because this is really important. The first card here is the Six of Wands reversed. The second card is the Ten of Pentacles reversed. This place is haunted. I'm telling you right now. And somebody has said they didn't think it was haunted anymore. Oh, it's still haunted. It's still haunted. I think they've done some cleansings on them. We're getting ready to see. But I think they've done some cleansings on it, which has helped tremendously, but this place is still haunted. Check this out right here. The Six of Wands came up reverse, and this means that when you step foot in this place, there is an oppressive energy immediately before you even talk about who did what, witches, whatever, ghosts, whatever. Immediately anybody who steps in there is going to, especially if they're sensitive. Now if you're not sensitive, then you might not notice it at first, but for anybody who is even a little bit sensitive, you are going to feel the energy. The Wands is about energy. You're going to feel the energy as soon as you step foot on the threshold, maybe when you drive up on the estate, depending upon how sensitive you are. So there is definitely an oppressive energy there from jump. What does this energy do? It looks like, based on this one right here, this is the Ten of Pentacles. It looks like to me, based on that this energy oppresses the family members. Ten of Pentacles is a happy family. So when it's reversed, it's a not so happy family. So this energy represses, oppresses, messes with, targets the family members that are on the land. So this generally happens when there is a earthbound spirit that doesn't want other people living on the land. This happens sometimes. It doesn't happen all the time. Some cases are residual, which means it's just the spirits living out their normal life. It's kind of like a video. They're just living out their normal life over and over again. But this is not. This is what we would call an intelligent haunting. This means that whatever these things are, and I saw that it was more than one being here. So at least most of them are intelligent and able to harm and mess with the prosperity. Pentacles is prosperity, so they can mess with the prosperity and the life of the living. Now, this came up in the upright. That means that they have done extensive work on this place. In the movie, you see the Warrens doing work on this place. I think they did some type of a cleansing or something, and it didn't go too well. In real life, the woman who was the mother during the time, this is in the 70s when this happened. So in real life, they have written their own books. They have talked about their own experiences. And that little bit we see in The Conjuring was only one was only one such event. They stayed there for like, I don't know, over 10 years. So they were there for a long time and a lot of different things happened. So they're telling me a lot of different people came to work on this space. So that's why, remember when I told you guys it wasn't as bad as it was before, but the energy is still present. Now when we come down here, again, we have a reversal. So the Eight of Pentacles is in an upright, and this one is reversed. This one is telling us something very strange. It's saying that some of the ghosts are, for lack of a better term, inappropriate. Like, for example, have you ever heard of a succubus or an incubus? They aren't exactly that, but that's the kind of energy we're getting from this. We're getting the kind of energy of a being that would touch you or kiss you, or maybe be inappropriate with you. Succubus and incubus use sexual energy, like sex dreams and things like that. You think it's a dream anyway, but they're actually really taking your energy from you through these, through this energy. Yeah. I don't even want to think about it, but basically they're taking your energy from you. And if you want to know more, Google succubus and incubus. They basically steal your energy through making you have sexual dreams about them. And you might see this beautiful woman, or this gorgeous guy, and really it's this hideous monster. It's either some people call them demonic, some people call them evil spirits, depending on what you believe. So they're telling me that they have some of that energy in this place. That's not good, especially when you have young girls in there. I think when the Warrens were there, they had like 5 daughters. So that really does disturb me. I do remember one of the daughters saying that there was a spirit that used to tuck them in at night and kiss them. So that kind of energy would go along with this too. So they're telling me that Ace of Pentacles. So the work was somewhat successful is what this has given us. Ace is a success card, so that's a good thing. So they're saying that the work that was done was somewhat successful. It was enough to stop the majority, like the biggest things that were going on, but it wasn't enough to stop everything. So anybody who goes there is still going to find that energy, and small strange things will still occur. Small to large, I would say. All right, so now we're going to take a look. There was a witch. They claim she was a witch. We're going to find out if she was or not. Bathsheba was her name. And when they took a look at the property, they found that this Bathsheba was apparently one of the owners of the property. Some reports say she was a witch. Some reports say that she was just a normal, average, everyday person that, they used to build this conjuring lie, basically. Okay. So I'm like, all right, I pulled cards to see Bathsheba. I got 3 cards on Bathsheba and none of them are good. They're all reversed, as you can see. So I'm going to turn them around and read them to you one by one. The first one says that Bathsheba has some type of delusional rapport with the divine. So what does that mean? That means she has some type of relationship with some kind of entity that was her god. So whether that be, I don't know. They're not telling us what that was, but she has some type of relationship that she cultivated with some type of entity, put it like that, and that was her god. So that doesn't sound to me like just this, a normal woman who just lived, had 4 kids and died. It said that she was somebody who used the spoken word. So if she used the spoken word in the reverse, it means that she was someone who cast spells. So she literally was into spell casting. Now, mind you, it says turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. Now, mind you, everybody that casts spells is not using them for destructive or negative effects. A spell really is neutral. It's the person who's positive or negative and the intention that is positive or negative. I can do a spell of healing, for example. I can do a spell for love. I can do a spell for prosperity. I can do a spell for protection. You know, you can do a spell for good things, or you can do a spell to harm somebody. So it's up to the person. But we see, since hers is reversed, she was using her tongue for the negative. So this was not just a regular old average lady that lived down the street. And then the third one, the last one, says that it says imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So she was using her abilities and her relationship and her spells for tyranny. And that continued on in her death, as we see, as she's continued to oppress others. So, and ignoring legitimate constraints means she was no holds barred. Like, there was nothing she wouldn't do. She was about it. Whatever she believed that she needed to do to get to her means, she was going to do it. So her energy is definitely a big part of what makes this old Arnold estate as haunted as it is. If she hadn't been there conjuring whatever that thing is she was conjuring, then we wouldn't even have a movie. It would be no movie at all. You know, this would have been a boring old farmhouse if she hadn't been in there doing whatever she was doing. Okay? Now, these are the energies. I asked about the energies of these beings that are in there. They told me that these beings caused fear. A lot of times we see this, like, look at this little girl, and they had 5 little girls. So they were, you know, these things, you know. So we have Bathsheba herself, and then we have whatever else is there. She's not the only spirit there. So she's there doing a lot, and we can see her bringing fear. This is Bathsheba herself bringing fear to the little girls and to the mother and to the family members, anybody really who moved there. But then they're telling me there were other mischief beings there, so other mischievous type energies. Some of these energies, you know, when you have a mischievous energy, sometimes they're not that bad. Sometimes they just mess with you. They just knock things over. They lock you in places. And I do remember one of the little girls saying that she got locked in a box that had no lock on it. They were playing a game of hide and seek, and she hid in a box. Now, if it had been a box with like a padlock on it or something like that, we could understand. But it was a box with no lock, just a lid. She got in the box, closed the box, and then could not get out. That was probably one of those mischievous spirits, because she didn't die in the box. She just got stuck there for a little while, and her sister let her out. So we have a lot of that kind of energy too. So you have some dark, fearful energy. You have some mischievous energy. And then whatever Bathsheba was actually conjuring, it says has this energy. This is a very, look at that, darkness. This is a very powerful dark energy. Remember I said she had something that was her god? Whatever it was a very powerful dark energy. So some of us may call that Satan. Some of us may call that negative energy. Whatever you call it, that's what she was tapping into. So she is bringing in a lot of bad energy into this place. So this place absolutely did have some very bad energy, and you can still feel it. Anytime you can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, you know it was pretty bad. Mayat told me the story is true. This is Mayat here. She said it was true. She said that there was exaggeration. We all know that people exaggerate. Hollywood exaggerates. You know, you cannot do a ghost movie and not add in jump scares. Not add in, you know, little things moving in the background. You can't do a ghost movie without that, because it's going to be boring. It's basically just going to be people walking around talking to themselves with EVP equipment in their hand, you know. So they have to do these little, you know, special effects and things like that. And then they do add more on to the story, things like that, which is, again, to enhance the story, you know, maybe make more money. But she's saying that, yeah, it really is haunted, even though these things have been exaggerated. And some people downplayed them. I remember one of the owners, she was like, oh yeah, some paranormal things happened, but you know, it wasn't a big deal. So you had some people that downplayed it, some people that exaggerated it, some people that were telling the exact truth and were fearful. There was a lot of scared people that lived on this property. Now, this card right here came up reversed, so I'm gonna turn it around. This is Anubis. Anubis is one of the gods that deals with, the dead. So when it comes up reverse, this is telling us that, remember I said it was more than one spirit there? There was a lot of them. And Anubis is telling us that they were earthbound spirits. So Bathsheba wasn't the only one. I mentioned that before. But Anubis is letting us know that there were other earthbound spirits. They came from the underworld. Yeah, they came from the underworld and they should have went to the light. When we pass over, according to the Egyptians, when we pass over, we go to the underworld. That's where we go, like, to rest and when everything is over, Osiris, also known as Asar, is the god of that underworld. Anubis and Mayat are the ones that are there. Basically they weigh your soul. You see the scales here? They weigh your soul. Your soul is in this vessel here. This is the feather of Mayat. If your soul is not as light as this feather, Anubis will eat your heart, and you are utterly dead, like you never even existed. That's it. So what he's saying when it's reversed like that is that they didn't go through that process. They stayed bound to the earth and bound to people and their lives in this estate. So they didn't go to the other side. So that's why it's reversed. And then this one here, this one is it was reversed being ordinary. So it means that this is an extraordinary case. You're not going to find cases that are this bad all of the time. Some of the times you will find, something small going on. This was a major case is what they're telling us. It was very extraordinary, and some of the things that went on here would probably give you nightmares. I can't believe the family stayed that long. They said that they could not afford, the family from the 70s said that they could not afford to leave, which any of us could understand if all your money is into a property, but they couldn't afford to go anywhere else, so they had to stay there. So they stayed in this extraordinary situation with all of this crazy stuff going on, all this harmful stuff, all this paranormal stuff, because they basically had to, and the first chance they got, they sold the place and moved to another state. And then the next owner came in, and the next owner said, oh yeah, I've seen a few things, but it's not a big deal. So the next owner was saying that she hadn't, experienced as bad of things as them, but they are the ones that did all the work that we talked about before. So by the time she got there, years and years and years of work had been done on this place. So it probably wouldn't have been as bad as what they said. But she did say she saw things that she cannot explain. So this is the answer to the question. The Conjuring house is definitely real. Not as crazed out as it used to be, but still someplace I would not want to sleep. So this is me, QueenAusetHeru, and you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.